Okay, 99 days out, and dare I say it, I actually felt a little bit sporty through my general warm-up, so pretty optimistic that this will be less terrible than last week. The other thing that's making me a little bit more optimistic today is I was thinking back to when I was 17, 18 years old, first trying to wrap my head around squatting well. I'd be watching the old super training videos with Dan Green and Stan Efferding on repeat and just trying to figure out like what they were doing and trying to convince myself that I would be one day capable of squatting those numbers. Should have put more of the anti-odor spray on the knee sleeves because calves are growing, but we'll get them on. But last night, I didn't watch old super training squat videos to see what other guys were doing to squat those numbers. I actually went back in my Instagram and watched every squat I did through every meet prep where I squatted above 9. And I think I at least remembered a couple things I'm going to be able to execute on today. The first one is acknowledging that I've always been a little bit chattery under heavy squat. I think the biggest thing I need to do right now is just learn to trust myself that if I have chatter to the mid-range, I am going to be able to kind of catch her in the bottom. Why are my calves so big? I don't think I'm going to be able to make it in the A7 sleeves if the inserts are this tight. Now, the other thing that I picked up from watching those old meet prep videos that will be a little bit more valuable is confirming that I definitely am over-hinging into my initiation right now. So what we're going to experiment with is jacking the mono up one hole, picking a little bit more upright, and making sure we're breaking hard into the knees.
And if you're new to the channel, this is me documenting everything that is and will be necessary to go from a complete pec rupture and repair in 2023 all the way to reaching my goal of hitting the biggest total in Canadian history. We started out coming back from that pec tear in under 9 months to hit a all-time PR total, then moved on to dropping over 100 pounds of body weight in order to start building back better, which is what we are working on right now. Not a whole lot of this has been fun or easy, but my hope is that by sharing the process, you're going to be able to learn something that will make you a better lifter.
For today's max effort movement selection, I was kind of thinking that I didn't want to run high bar to force more of that knee break, but to have a better experiment to see if the more upright, more aggressive knee break does work. I'm just going to run a pause squat today, so I have a little bit of load limitation, plus some feedback on how our tightness is in the hole. And that feels very familiar. Should have watched my old back guy squat videos a little bit sooner, I guess. So big thing now is to keep it going as we go up.
Hold. Yep. Take a pause. Yep.
It's working.
Yeah.
And we're going belt on for 3 because I'm not trying to train beltless. I'm trying to make sure my brace is working. Might be able to loosen the belt actually. Where's the hole? I think that's the hole. I'm getting so girthy again.
What? Yep. Yep.
I am in utter disbelief right now. But like I was saying the other day, the deadlift performance does prove that squat strength should be here. I just got to find it, so we're going to keep finding it. Now, as far as loading plan goes for today, my best ever pause squat is 738, and I don't think it would be very wise to chip a PR, so all I'm going to be trying to do here is get something that's heavy enough to kind of be heavy, but not so heavy that it is very hard or very sketchy. But it is feeling good enough that 4 should be very safe, even after last week's giant kerfuffle. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And that one felt good enough that I am very tempted to go straight for 5, but because we're trying to err on the side of not screwing it up, we're going 4 and a yellow first.
What? Yep.
Yeah, feels like we're almost back. And the only downside about today right now is even having the sleeves halfway rolled down isn't giving me numb calf relief, but I mean, we're good for another conservative jump at 625. So, plan here, be more assertive with the pick, and act like myself.
What? Yep.
Waited that time. Other than farting in the hole, very happy with that rep. Update, ended up taking my sleeves all the way off because the leg numbness was getting so brutal. But the good news is I'm sweaty enough that they slid on much earlier than the beginning. So let's wake up to the 655.
Go back right there. Come on!
Find it. Burn it.
On my skin, I'm a comic book. Pop so many pills, I was seeing pink elephants. Irrelevant, still with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we figured our squat out and we will be very good to go with the meet. Am tempted to take 7, but I don't think that's necessary considering first week of the wave and we're trying to not overcook ourselves. So I'm gonna get these stupid things off and put the softer sleeves on for secondary movement and filming Darrell's top set here because hopefully this is the last week. I'm gonna let him beat me up squats for at least a little while. And just come in on the front side. And then when he's done the rep, just make sure to stabilize it so it gets back in the hooks. And like, he's a slow squatter.
Yeah.
So like, just listen, I'll say take it or something if it's fucked up.
Sounds good.
Square! Lock it in! Squat! Pull in. Yep. Pull. Head! Yep! Hold! Way forward. You're in.
Hey.
Nice work. And I mean, maybe a little bit sticky, but I think I'm okay with that for his last big push of the prep. Part of the problem I've been having with the secondary slot is on the days where I feel really good, I've gotten too excited, cranked it too hard, and my legs have been fucked for like 10 days. So in an effort to prevent that, we dish the sleeves all together, and we're gonna keep it nice and light and squeezy so we actually can build momentum across the wave. God. That unrack is so low on this thing.
Yeah.
My right ass cheek is still numb from the knee sleeves, FYI. Probably could have started heavier in one plate, but I wanted to be very safe. Also, why the fuck is my prime wedge out here? Been looking for that for like a week. So we'll do our best to keep 2 smooth and steady. Almost over walked off the bottom of the platform, so we'll not do that when it gets heavier. Now we can go 3. Now, my ego really does not want this to be a top set, but I need to remember that if it does get hard, I need to accept that I socket hacks one without knee sleeves on, so we'll wake up, do our best, and we'll go up if it's appropriate. We're going 4. So, only goal here is to not look stupid for putting it on the machine. Every time I slide down, I get such a big wedgie.
I know.
The leather is so sticky.
It's just the hungriest of bumps.
God. Feels heavy. Let's have fun. Good enough for today. Woo! Which means we are now getting on this oh so glorious banana seated leg curl doohickey that I'm gonna take the time to adequately set up before I try to insert myself into it. I gotta remember how to do all the adjusters. Oh, yeah, feels good. Probably need to go heavier, so I'll take the time to make it heavier. But the reason I'm doing the seated leg curl over GHR is leverage-wise, this machine is freaking phenomenal, and it's allowing me to get tension pretty much through the entire hamstring length profile, which is the opposite of GHR, being that the GHR, not the opposite, but GHR follows off heavy at the top, whereas this guy, like, it's freaking gnarly down there, so we shall make use of it since we did have that hammy-jammy tweak. Boom. Yeah, that was good. So we'll get in there for round two, and like the first one I probably was a little bit too aggressive, so gonna use Tyler loaded here and squeeze a bit higher into the rep range, which is gonna annoy the mechanical tension nerds, but they're mechanical tension nerds, so they don't matter. That was fun. Because, I mean, not only are pumps enjoyable, but those higher rep sets are going to be more beneficial for actually building back tissue tolerance post-strain, so we're going to keep on them for a little bit here. And I quite enjoyed this guy last week for that packed-in row intent, so I figure we might as well run her again. Straight to 2 plates, because I figure with how much less dead I feel today, we should be able to make it a little bit less terrible. So, we shall crank. That is a tremendous squeeze. Now we'll just go back and forth, no rest. Let the left arms work with the right arms rest and vice versa. It's probably gonna get boring to watch, so I don't know if we'll keep all of it in the vlog, but we'll see. And the reason I've started doing more rows like this versus the like scap, let go, rounded thoracic extension, or rounded thoracic flexion, pulling thoracic extension is, like, my back feels hella strong on deadlifts, and it feels a little bit uncoordinated on bench, so I'm trying to bias my pulling towards more of the packed down kind of tall chest intent that I want on bench press, and I don't know, it seems to be kind of catching, but this is very hard to do while talking, so I'll shut up for Lefty. But they are absolutely blown up right now, so I'm stoked. And since the hamstring is feeling better, I figure we should load this stupid bullshit more appropriately for my strength levels, so yeah. That sucks so freaking bad, but glad we're doing it. We will embrace the glute and back pump from hell and do another one though. I'm okay with that. And I do like running the wide base sit up on the floor because it forces a straight leg compared to running it on the bench. But as we discovered last week, those racks, like the bottom post is a little bit too close to the floor to get my foot under. So we're gonna give this guy a whirl because it's a little bit higher and see if that feels like it'll be a better option. And like, this might actually be like a little bit too high because there's some play, but oh no, this will be phenomenal. This is my new setup spot. And conveniently located right next to some plates to grab, so we shall load them. And we're gonna lay here for a minute before we do the second set. Probably gonna scoop another plate out to make number 2 a little bit harder. I don't think there's gonna be a good way to get the other plate on top of me without the first plate that's already on me falling off. So we'll, oh, did we get it? Okay. Think we're there. Oh, there's a guy doing sit-ups on this. I'll move my feet so they don't get pinched. You good if I'm doing sit-ups back here? Like, I'm trying to use this to anchor my feet to do sit-ups.
Pardon me?
I'm trying to use this to anchor my feet to do sit-ups.
So sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
You okay?
Yeah, it's good enough. But 2 plates. Actually, pretty happy with how that went, considering how bad it was last week. And you know what? Even if that squat is about 200 pounds underneath what I would consider the minimum successful showing for what I want to put on the platform in December, I am very happy with how that turned out because it is the most we've squatted so far this prep to depth. We gave it a decent pause and we moved it freaking well. And the fact that I could have gone up today but chose to not, again, that tells me that we're making the right choices in order to let ourselves build momentum over the course of this wave and as the weeks add up. And that is exactly what we need to do so that we can start showing better once we get into the meat of this meat prep. And I think the biggest thing that I gained from going back through my old videos last night was in my head when I'm trying to think about where I should be at a certain number of weeks out from a meet. I want to think about and remember the meet preps where I had an off season with nothing weird and nothing was going wrong, and I could start the prep at, 16 weeks out, start ramping up and already be very strong. Like, those are the preps that I want to remember. The preps that I tend to forget about are the preps where things were screwed up going into it. And even looking back to last year at the first round of the cut into the last king of the platform, like at 14 weeks out, I am so much better off than I was last time around. And I need to remember that. I need to remember that I don't need to freaking panic because I know that I keep doing my job, keep making good choices, keep training appropriate to the level that I'm at, like we did a very good job of today. We are going to be able to put something very cool together. And the fact that we are turning it around and building momentum and making the choices and doing what is necessary to get the job done, well, I'm getting more and more excited. So thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Have a good night. And I will see you in the team.